Hey folks, it's Jeremy Kirkland. How you doing? You're listening to Blammo. Really glad you're here. What a life we're living, and what a time to be alive. It's wild out there. It's also been raining where I am for nonstop. I mean, there's nothing but rain, and I swear to God, I'm terrified my ceiling's gonna collapse on me. But geez, Louise, not sure how we're gonna look back on all this, but I will say one thing. I'm going to continue to enjoy the fact that I live in a time when Loren Kramar is making music. It's, what a time to be alive. Loren is a fit god. He's filled with hilarious hot takes, and he makes me weep whenever he sings. Serious, his music his voice it's chilling, it's haunting, it's so good. I adore his music, and he's on the pod this week. So Loren and I discuss his new EP, Living Legend, being a creative without a roadmap, good boots, better vintage, and more. It's all in there. Plus, we really rant and rave about what's happening in the state of modern and hype menswear at the end of the pod. So dig in. Glad you're here. Here we go. What's new with you?
Oh my God. I just got back from New York last night.
Okay.
I used to live there, so I've got so many close friends, and I don't know why I have this idea in my mind that I can go to New York and treat it like a vacation, but it's always it's never that. It's never that. I recorded 2 songs for this movie that comes out on Friday called Yeah. God bless you. Thank you. God bless. So there was a screening at Regal Cinemas on Delancey.
Ooh, X Sunshine.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was there for that, and then we did these shirts with Eckhaus Latta, and then we took some e-com photos.
Yes. Okay.
Watch out, world.
Okay, this is like a serious question, but I am very curious about this.
Please.
Being the musician and multidisciplinary artist that you are, I feel like it's a lot harder than what it was like back in the day when you just looked cool and had some good tunes. It's like now you're collabing, you're making clothes, you're doing this. You got to have, labels will be like, yo, what's your digital strategy? What's this? Like, do you like that, or do you feel like this is like you're distracting me from my true art?
Jeremy, it's like both. I mean, both.
Okay.
I'm sort of tortured by the artists that don't seem like, let's take MJ Lenderman, for example. I love him. And he's not some fashion girly. You know what I mean? It's not like you're not really going to MJ Lenderman for the visual experience. And God, I mean, maybe some people are, I don't know. I mean, but it's like, God, damn, I'm envious of, in a way, how focused it is on the music and the music alone. And he's a cool guy and whatever.
Right.
I mean, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like with the friends that I have that are in similar spots career-wise, it's like we're all running our careers like they're little fucking fashion magazines or something.
It's like you're creative directors now.
Yeah, and the thing is, I worked in fashion a little bit. When I graduated from art school, I started an online art magazine with friends of mine, and so we were, taking all of the presentation into account, and the graphic design and the newsletter and the verbiage, and I mean, so it's like I really am interested in a lot of these areas, and so it's satisfying and exciting and challenging, and it is a kind of role playing of it's like running a different kind of business, but it's it's good if you're an anal lunatic which I am, but
Okay. All
it's
right.
all
There we go.
but there's also resentment. Like, why do I why do I have to do all of this shit?
Yeah.
And I don't have to, but it's like you just need to put more cards on the table, is what it feels, or you just got you've got to be betting on so many different
Like verticals or whatever.
yeah.
I mean, not to get all biz speak, but like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like creating these channels that are different entry points for different people to ultimately find out who you are and what you're doing. And of course, for me, like the nucleus of this is the music and is the performing. But I am really, I mean, I friends of mine ask me like, oh, do you still make visual art on the side? And I'm like, motherfucker, have you not been paying attention to what I've been doing the past few years?
Right. Right.
It's like, damn. But yeah, so doing the videos and collaborating with the photographers, and and the most of the photographs start as sketches that I'm doing, and it is fun. It is fun, but it does feel a little
Yeah, I think being in the music business is a type of artistry that most patrons of musicians or fans of musicians, whatever you want to call them, like aren't always excited when that person jumps to other stuff, you
yeah.
know? But I feel like over the past 20 years, that's totally fine and normal. But weirdly, I think some people have it in their head where it's like, oh, wait, you're doing music, but oh, wait, you're also making clothes or you're also being a photographer or whatever. It's like, I don't know, maybe you're not as serious as that. And I think in a lot of ways, it speaks to this larger problem and how we view and understand artists in the sense that like our brains are so tiny or weird that we can't allow the people we love to jump into these other mediums and celebrate them. And in some cases, be far better at those
Yeah.
mediums than what we initially discovered them on. It's very strange. And I say that I have a lot of friends who are in bands or who have started in other fields of art and
Yeah.
started to get more into music, and they talk about just that crossing of musicianship versus different forms of art. And I say that because I feel that all of them are beautiful and special. I am probably the most obsessed with music because I can listen to it and experience it in almost any place I am, and I can't
Yeah.
do that with like a visual piece, right?
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, I feel like it's this. I really want to try to eradicate the notion when folks are like, oh wait, oh they're doing this too. Like, what does that mean? Like, how should I understand that? When it's like, no, like motherfucker, like you don't understand. Like, someone can be making some of the most beautiful, surreal music ever, and also understand how to frame a whole creative direction of clothing or cinematography or
Yeah.
like I really, really want to rally against that
Yeah.
attitude.
And I think that, listen, if that's the story that you're able to tell, god damn, tell that story. Like if you don't give a damn about cinematography, if you don't really give a shit about clothing and personal style or graphic design, I mean, fuck it.
Yeah.
But if you are, deeply interested and inspired by those different languages, it's like, uh, I mean, this is the sort of the control freak, anal, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But it's easy to get really, really obsessive and a little bit lost and overprotective of the way that your, identity is being translated.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
easy to get really hyper focused on, no, 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 not that area. They couldn't possibly have used Arial, for the flyer. Those now people are gonna think I'm some, basic ass whatever.
Velvet
Uh,
Underground had a identity kit, had a brand kit.
oh, listen, of course, and Ariel is not such a bad font, but you know, um, I don't
What's
know.
your
I mean,
style guide then? What it's if so, I'm making the Loren Kramer experience, and you just sent, and I said, hey, can I need an EPS file? Homie, hit me with your style guide.
oh, oh, we
What's your
have.
color story? What is your font?
Oh, well, it really depends. It really depends. I mean, this is the thing. Like, I love, I say this to, collaborators sometimes, or whoever. Like, I would love nothing more than to find a director or even a creative director who I'm willing to give up the reins to, absorb me into your universe. Is what I think is interesting is,
Yeah.
getting to play in somebody else's vision of you. It's just got to be a fucking beautiful vision, you know?
Yeah.
Like when we kicked off this whole project, like basically a year and a half ago with this song of mine called Hollywood Boulevard, it's like the single
You're the
artwork.
director.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like the single cover artwork was almost a one-to-one. It wasn't quite a one-to-one, but it was heavily influenced by this Buster Keaton movie called The Scarecrow and this still image of him. And it's like that was the reference, was early Hollywood and wanting, it wasn't this 70s bullshit. It was 20s and 30s bullshit. And it was wanting to be, synonymous with, or just wanting to insert myself in a sort of imagination about Hollywood. So when people, like the self-appointed mayor of Hollywood is how I sort of thought
Yeah.
of it, and just forcing myself into that conversation, not waiting to be invited into it. So of course, like the fucking behind the scenes language was like, how do you make something that feels timeless and not too retro and and elegant and tasteful without being too self-serious or like high on your own fucking farts or
I think
something.
herein lies your actual dilemma though, because I think most people who experience artists like yourself who are extremely talented in many mediums don't always have their musical talents be as impressive as yours, in the sense that like your voice is insane. I
God
don't know how
bless
much
you.
reverb, I don't know what cage going through your voice, but it is like it gives me shivers, man. Like it's fucking it's absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
Makes me want to be like, okay, can this dude just like make a songbook album, please? Like I want to hear Lauren's takes on all these different artists. I want to hear your own more, but like I mean it's so good that I think
Thank you.
it almost eclipses some of the other things. Because like no lie, I did not know you worked at a magazine and were doing other things like that. Like
Yeah.
but it's the your voice is just it's haunting. It's so good.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I mean, this is my, like, when I was fucking, like, working as basically, I wasn't an intern, but it was one of these, like, unnameable, unpaid jobs
Mm-hmm.
for, like, Zach Posen. You know what I mean? And it was
Okay.
like, they wanted to start, like, a diffusion line, like a Mark by Mark Jacobs or whatever. And, like,
Yeah.
my big idea was Jack Rosen by Zach Posen. And I'm sketching, but like I like saw an interview with Whitney Houston, and they're asking her, that was like my childhood diva,
Yeah.
and they're asking her like what other jobs she would have pursued if she didn't do music, and basically she was like, with this fucking voice, like, are you high? Like, what? Who? Did you forget who you're asking? Like,
Yeah,
no,
it's
I'm not
like
going to be sitting behind
irrelevant question next.
yeah, you want me sitting behind the fucking receptionist desk with this voice? And listen, a part of me feels this way. Like, I love clothing, but not more. But fuck that. I want to pursue what I really care about and have a life that allows me to wear these clothes. And that's the relationship with clothing. I'm not going to be satisfied styling some motherfucker. Not with this voice.
I mean, it's true. Like, cause the most recent thing I heard, it was, it just came out, the covers
Yeah.
EP.
Yeah, the Lana Del Rey thing.
And
Yeah.
like, don't hate me, don't exit.
Please. Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I think I probably need to give Lana Del Rey a shot now. Cause I was like,
Listen,
hearing this music, I was like, oh man, this is amazing. And I was like, oh, it's Lana Del Rey. And I was like, man, I kind of never gave her a chance.
yeah, no, a lot
And
of people have told me that. Have had a similar experience.
yeah, I mean,
Like
but
my brother, or
yeah,
even people at the label, they were like, who knew? We know Lana's a fucking icon, but we haven't really aside from like the big hits or something, they
yeah,
haven't really
yeah,
they're
exactly.
not listening to the fucking catalog.
So talk to me about the EP a little bit. Where did that come from? How did that happen?
Yeah. So a year ago, I did the Eckhaus Latta folks asked me if I would do the live soundtracks for their show, and they
Mhm.
wanted it to all be covers. And one of the songs was Alana was "Hope is a Dangerous Thing," and And I did that soundtrack with this guy named Daniel Aged, who is like a really something of like an LA musical legend. I mean, he's 38 years old or whatever he is, but he was Frank Ocean's musical director at the Coachella shows. He's recorded a lot with Frank, like a few of the most recent singles, which are a few years old now. Daniel Aged worked on. He was in this band called Inc. INC period, with his brother. His brother is now in McGee's band. But Daniel, like, he does production for Rosalia, and he's worked really closely with Kalela, and he's the most soulful, spiritual sort of R&B bass player and producer. Anyway, so after we did the Eckhaus show, it was like, oh, let's just record these covers. So we started to do that, and I was like, okay, who gives a fuck, about this like a covers album? I love covers, and God bless Cat Power, and but like, but my thing is like, what would really kill me, Jeremy? What would fucking kill me is if some like some other hipster ass, especially it's like some other like gay boy in New York or something, released a Lana Del Rey covers album, I would fucking die. I would die of jealousy, So I was like, oh, I have to do it. That is much more terrifying and much more compelling an idea, because it feels like there's a cultural race. Someone's bound to do it. She has the catalog, she has the songs. And so I thought, yeah, that seems much more urgent than a covers album, which I can do at any point. So we decided to do that, and we brought in, and it was like, Sam Gandel played sax, and this guy Dylan Digg did guitar, and like these are musicians that I was listening to the Phil Cook episode that you did.
Oh,
it's like,
wow, thank you.
It's these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like if
real
you are
studio heads, like people, yeah.
It's studio heads, it's like they're working with Vampire Weekend, they're working with Solange, and then sometimes if they get a bigger gig through Mark Ronson, they're doing shit with Harry Styles or whatever. But it's like, there really is this pocket of alternative jazz musicians in LA. And I mean, I live for these musicians, Sam Wilkes and people like that. This guy KCMQ, who does stuff with Earth Eater, and Caroline Polachek and OK Lou, like he was on he played on this EP. My friend Jayla, she did backing vocals on Ride. So it is this crew of really serious, sort of like these studio heads. Where like we recorded most of them live. Me and Danny were like, this is how recording an album should be. Like, what should be, who do we want on this? Dylan, let's call him up. He comes in, we do 10 takes. We all listen back. We know which one's the best for them. Great, next, Oh,
that's amazing.
Oh, it was beautiful. But yeah, this is like a long way to say. That's sort of like that's the Lana origin story, how this came to be. It was like, someone's going to do it. I love the idea of being the first. And I love these songs, I really love these songs, and take her words seriously. And I think that she's a brilliant fucking songwriter.
She really is. Excellent lyricist. Excellent. I mean, it's there. And I totally am embarrassed and apologize that I completely overlooked it. I've always been that kind of person where it's like, oh, like these 20 people are telling me to like something. No. So like, I need to,
yes,
it's like, sorry, I already have a Radiohead. Like I don't need these other people telling me what to do it.
Yeah, I get it.
BS elitism that I'm trying to push.
No, I get it. I'm the same way. It takes me, I'm just like, okay, I'll finally listen to whatever the fuck,
Well, Harry Styles was one for a while where all these people are like, dude, the Harry Styles album's like, it's actually really good. Like, there's some good production qualities in there. And I'm like, no. And then I'm like running one day and it like pops up on my radio. And I was like, all right, I won't change it. I was like, oh.
Exactly. God bless.
Okay, hey, I got a little secret. Feel free to even turn the volume up for a second. I'm into loafers, folks. I like a little slippy slide for my dress shoes. I'll throw on a pair when I want to dress up some denim or when I want to dress down a suit. But my go-to loafers are from Grant Stone. Family-owned and operated, Grant Stone are usually known for their incredible Goodyear welted boots. The diesel boot is a personal favorite of mine, but they're Goodyear welted because they're easy to replace, and they make footwear that will last a lifetime. But for me, My Grant Stones are my loafies. This spring, I've been wearing their classic horsebit loafers. And while yes, Grant Stone is an e-com company, Grant Stone services are the best I've ever had. It was easy. You can email their staff. You can let them know what your size is because you're like, I don't know, am I this size? Am I this size? Reach out to them and they will get you sorted in whatever you're looking for. Plus, they make their footwear in a variety of widths, so you can even get your big hobbit feet fitting nice and comfy. So grab a pair and enjoy the fact that you bought shoes that will last for ages with their Goodyear welted construction, incredible leathers, and a footbed that molds nice to your foot. You can even repair these shoes years later when you need them, so you can wear big fits for years. Grant Stone has it all. So visit grantstoneshoes.com to learn more. That's grantstoneshoes.com. Oh, what's my next pair? Espresso suede penny loafers from Grant Stone. Do you feel that you're often driven by things because you want to be the first to do it? Or is there like already a roadmap in your head?
Oh, there's definitely no roadmap. There's no roadmap.
Okay.
I mean, listen, being the first to do something, I mean, that sounds great. Love that. That's exciting. But I'm not really, it's like I'm softer than that. You know what I mean? Like I do think that a healthy amount of like I want to be the fucking best. I want to be number. I think that's cool. I think there should be some of that. And I've
Drive
got
is okay.
yeah, drive is like, and wanting big things. I think that's great. And certainly I don't want to be the second one to do the Lana Del Rey covers album.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's very fair.
But no, I mean, it's like, it's all pretty day to day. It's like, it's been pretty intuitive and pretty, like I certainly didn't think, oh yeah, I'm going to follow up this, my first full length album with the Lana Del Rey covers album,
Right.
a year later. Like, hell no, there was no grand plan around that. But it's like, this feel, there's something there. There's something to this. And suddenly it becomes an album about myself as a listener, reminding the audience, whoever they might be or whoever might discover my music. It's like, no. I'm not just singing my own shit over here, but like I'm in the audience too, Don't forget that I'm part of the culture, listening and taking it all in as well. Like that's a part of who I am as an artist. And I think that's a part of being an artist, obviously. It's like there's no vacuum. No. It's like I am finding myself in other people and I can be a voice of an audience. Like that was a very exciting
Where did
aspect.
that come from? Because I think that's kind of an enlightenment level thought process, especially in the role of an artist.
Yeah, I mean, it just, I was talking to my friend Kala Henkel, who I went to Cooper Union with, and she is an amazing artist, and she started this theater in LA called New Theater Hollywood, and they've been putting on these really interesting performances, and she's also a fucking novelist, and so I was meeting up with her, and we were, finding the bio, it was called, for the album, like the label wanted a bio. And so it was just a lot of conversations about, what's actually going on with this, why did you do this? And what is interesting about doing this? And that was part of it, that was sort of a realization that, it's like many years ago when I was in art school, I would write monologues about the students in my class. And so I thought, like, what I'm doing with the Lana thing is not miles away from that sort of experiment. It's like, this is a way to suddenly connect with listeners that I don't know over something that we're all sharing, because how do you talk to an audience that is bigger than 15 people, but make it feel like there is some kind of shared private information between us,
Yeah.
Like, how do you like share a diary with a group of people or something? How do you do that on a really large scale? but how do you do that in a scale that's bigger than your group of friends, or whatever? I mean, so this feels like the Lana EP is like a version of that I'm so interested in.
Yeah, because I will say like your music as a whole feels very intimate. It's not like there's certain bands that I'll put on and I can just listen to and not really know what song it is. I don't know what track I don't even know. I don't even know if
Yeah.
I'm still listening to them. But I
Yeah.
feel like your stuff feels very appointment based, to which it's caused me to kind of go back and try to and not to analyze, to criticize, but to
Yeah.
really like, okay, why was that decision made? Like, okay, it feels like there's so much space even on the mix between
Yeah.
your voice and everything else,
Hmm.
as because your voice feels like it's mixed more like a lead instrument versus what people traditionally mix your
Yeah.
stuff.
Yes. Yes.
So I mean,
Yes.
it feels very like you just need to focus more on it. So
Yeah.
with the stuff that you were saying, was that something where it's like, look, I'm trying to share this kind of intimate thing, and I'm just, but I have to, I'm only going outside the group chat. I'm not writing music for Coachella, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think that part of it is the nature of these songs, the nature of these words. I mean, when we're recording, and then I listen, like, then I take an Uber home and I'm listening to the bounce on my
What are the
headphones.
headphones you're listening to?
Oh, the fucking Apple bullshit.
Smart. Okay. Yeah. I
Are
mean,
you
that is
kidding?
what everyone's using. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've had the different headphones. No, 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 no. I don't want that shit. Just,
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, you want to listen to it on the most. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, it's a funny thing to say, but it's like it sounds the way that I hear it in my head. That's how the vocal lives. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? The vocal, I want it to really feel like it's like you're thinking about singing. It's not even the voice itself. It's like it's like you're reading the lyrics and that's what you hear in your head, as you're reading them. It's like that's the kind of presence of the vocal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, my hearing is fine. I've gone to the fucking ear, nose, and throat doctor. We've checked my hearing, but
Okay.
I love a loud mix and I love a loud vocal. And that's trust me, like every producer mixer I've ever worked with, they're like, the vocal is too loud, Loren. And I'm just like, no, you don't understand.
Like, says who? What are we basing this off of?
Exactly.
No one ever wrote any rule of where vocals had to be mixed. We all
Yeah.
kind of kept following whatever Jeff Emmerich or whatever.
Correct. And listen, and I hear mixes all the time, musicians that I fucking love. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my, who have these beautiful voices. And I'm like, why is the vocal mixed so low? Why is it embedded in that?
Good question. No, I agree. I think it's funny with that because so I used to work at a studio way back in the day.
Whoa, which one?
I worked at Sony Music Studios for a little bit.
Oh,
This is
amazing.
before they like eradicated and destroyed it. I worked like night shifts with Chad Blake and some folks like
Wow.
this. Yeah, I mean this is 2004 or 5, like
Yeah.
when I moved to New York. And I remember Chad Blake was like, "Oh, you can understand the confidence of the musician by how loud they sing and where they want their vocals." I was like, "Oh, interesting." And I started thinking about like all these different types of music and where the vocals are mixed. And
Yeah.
you're like, "Okay." And so then I'm like, "All right, let me think like Yo La Tengo. Well, they're actually really
Yeah.
confident. Their vocals aren't that hot." I was like, "Iris, she's buried." And then I was like, "All right, let me think of, you know, Black Flag." I was like, all right, I think they're pretty. Zach De La Roca. All right. There's some stuff there, but it all like clicked in my head when he was talking about like, analyzing like the psyche of musicians' performance through vocal mixing. But
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, okay, for example, like Father John Misty's most recent album, there are the vocal, I mean, on the
big,
oh my God, and my friend Jayla, who, like I said, was on this album, but I mean, I love Josh's voice, I love Jayla's voice, and I love, it's like these are great singers who understand, I think the not just the power, but the sort of the entrance that, hearing the lips part and hearing the
yeah,
the small inhale or whatever the hell it might be. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like that's, I live for that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it just really hearing the room too. I mean,
Yeah.
Paul Simon used to
Yes.
like to do his vocals in this really echoey little
Hmm.
ISO area, and you could hear every sniff,
Yeah.
every tiny breath. You could hear his lips and his tongue, which sounds a little gross, but at the same time, like you do get this very, if you hear the stems or some of these things, you can hear how raw some of these
Yeah.
vocals are, and I think it's really beautiful.
I live for that. And one of my favorite albums is that it's from a few years ago. It's Prince, piano and a microphone,
Yeah, yeah,
and it's like that's, I want to hear the person alive. I want to hear them alive in the room doing what they do.
yeah,
And I don't want to be thinking about I don't want to be thinking about anything else.
yeah.
Let me just hear you alive, if you don't mind.
But with all that being said, I think you do a really good job of the whole vibe, and vibe being your personal style is through the roof. And so
God
I'm
bless you.
curious where a lot of this came from.
Delusions.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's a kind of a trite question. I'll admit it. But like,
Oh,
I think a lot of times I see a person in my head that I'm trying to be when I get dressed in the morning.
yeah.
So that'll make me gravitate towards certain things. I also admit my own absurd snobbiness and vanity. Like, I don't really want to wear a brand that, 500 other people have
Of
in their
course.
closets
Yeah.
because I'm a piece of shit, snobby. And I am not confident enough on how I will wear the clothes to project that it's me wearing it. So a lot of times I need that crutch of that sort of, underground or whatever you want to call it, sort of
Yeah.
design that's not mainstream, so I can carry myself a little bit further. But I'm
Yeah.
curious, I mean, as we're recording right now, the vintage shirt I'm assuming you're wearing, your
Yeah.
sleeves are cut
Oh, yeah.
off at the three quarters here.
Yes. The thing is, I mean, but I'll listen, Jeremy, I'm the same way. I mean, like I've had little stuffed animal keychains, like Beanie Babies on my bag, for
Nice.
years. And obviously, there was nothing original in doing that. It's just everybody wasn't doing it. And then just on this most recent trip to New York, I mean, every bag had little stuffed animals. I mean,
X-Wag.
I
Yeah.
went back to my fucking hotel room and like took that shit off. I was like, this is embarrassing. Like kiss the stuffed animals. I'm sorry, guys. I'll see you all in hell. You know. But yeah, I don't want to go out there. I mean, here's the thing. I've always loved fashion, loved clothing, and but I don't want people to look at me and know who I'm wearing or what I'm wearing. Maybe a bag is
Sure.
fine. Like the thing is, like I carry a fucking like the like basic bitch, like MILF Goyard bag. You know what I mean? Like the
Oh,
tote, Goyard
okay.
bag. Like
Is it monogrammed?
absolutely not.
Ah,
Absolutely not.
the road less traveled. Okay.
So that I don't mind when the bag is just, when everyone's got that. I mean, like my dream bag is like a black or brown chrome hearts bag with like a huge star or something.
Ooh.
Um,
I was like,
like,
is he gonna say Birkin? Is he gonna say Birkin? You said
no,
Chrome.
no, I
You're
think,
more LA than you realize.
well, that's the thing. I mean, like, I think that, I mean, because I'm from LA and Chrome Hearts is like, it's Cher and it's Steven Tyler, you know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? And it's like, I mean, it's obviously like a kind of incredible, like LA trash rock star thing, which I think is so cool. It's so funny what that brand, how expensive and insane that brand is now. I mean,
It's
it's
pretty wild. Yeah.
but as far as the clothes, like, yeah, I don't want to look too fashion. You know what I mean? I mean, I wear what I wear and I want to look great, but I don't want people to say, oh, he's wearing the
You
I
don't
like
want like all the tags on a fit pic of you, is basically what you're
never,
saying. You don't want to
never.
get the look. Get the look by Lauren.
Yeah, no, but like when it comes, because like I basically just wear like for the most just like vintage shirts. It's all about like how they feel and how they hang. And I've been wearing the same pair of brown pants basically every day for like 3 years from that store, Mr. Freedom, in LA, which does
Okay.
like copies of vintage or whatever the hell they do.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to like menswear, and like I think the really beautiful, like of course I think Dries Van Noten's a genius, like for the coats and whatnot. But brands like Paul Harden, those like crate, like those really expensive, but but you would never know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You wouldn't really know who the hell makes it unless you're like one of these freaks. Like Mike Nouveau is always wearing Paul Harden, and it's like it takes a certain kind of like menswear fashion freak to clock it. But for
Yeah.
the most part, it just looks like you're wearing like a good, vintage find.
But I feel
Like
like that is the true like highest calling is being able to wear things that are like extremely known to the right people.
yeah,
It also, you're not really compromising. The people that I'm always drawn to the most on like in the fashion world are people that they're wearing the clothes aren't wearing them. Like, and
hmm
I think like a lot of your stuff I've seen, yeah, there's a really cool, I don't know, laissez-faire vibe, but you can tell like, no, this isn't a person who just like wore what they wore off a tour bus. Like you were saying MJ Lenderman, this isn't MJ Lenderman. Like
yeah,
he's got some great shirts,
yeah.
but there's a lot of thought into this.
We try.
So wait, what other stuff are so you got Mr. Freedom, you got some vintage stuff.
Vintage, lots of vintage crap. Dries Van Noten, boots that I wear every day.
You're
Like
a boot guy.
only boots,
Really?
only
I
boots.
never I never clocked the fit enough to pull his only boots. Wow.
You
Mama.
know,
Okay.
only yeah, every day.
You
That's
just
what I
showed
wear
us that.
around. That's
Yeah.
what I wear around New York and everywhere. There needs to be like a slight heel. Yeah, you feel like you're fun. I mean, the sound of these shoes, it's very funny. I mean, they really are very loud. Like yesterday in the airport, walking down whatever the fuck, it's like you can either do the people mover or you do the like fucking, the catwalk. And so I'm like stomping through.
You're not taking those boots off, are you? You're TSA pre all the way, huh?
I need to be TSA free.
I get it.
I'm not.
I
I'm
get it.
not.
Oh, you're not?
No, I'm
You're
not.
taking them off?
Yeah, I sure do. You crazy? Yep.
All right. Fair.
I want to give all those TSA agents a closer look
It's true.
at
You're
these
like, look,
boots.
check these out. They're gonna come down the conveyor belt.
That's
Give a
right.
little inspection here.
That's right. Listen, but I mean, like, I think, going to any high-end store, it's so, for the most part, it's a sad, sad situation. I think everything looks like shit. It's like a sad life in there. It's joyless. It's just a
Just
joy.
things on a
Yeah.
hanger. Just loneliness in a nutshell. Yeah. Okay.
It's the people. It's the people in there. It's the prices of the shit.
Yep.
It's so like I don't know what would have to happen for me to feel like great in one of those places.
You
You
gotta go
know,
to Japan. That's really
oh,
it.
I believe you. I mean, the thing is, like in New York, where the Paul Harden all is in that store.
Yeah.
If Soho,
Great
and
boutique.
I think the clothing is amazing. And then, like in LA, Maxfield, of course, which like used to be even more beautiful. And like they had real shrunken heads on display and like quartz dildos. You know what I mean? And like that store used to be really, really, really special. And you talk to any of the fucking salespeople there, and they're like, yeah, Instagram fucked us, and the buyer is like chasing trend. It's not what it used to be, whatever. Like, I love it can be fun to look at this really beautiful clothing,
Yeah.
but but a lot of it is no longer beautiful.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true. We're also at this era where I feel like everything is cool. And that's fine. But I feel like
Yeah.
if you're trying to get into something, especially, whether, I don't know, you're just like cis dude, it's like,
Yeah.
I need guidance. I need to figure out like what is step one? And it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you want to look like? And a lot of times people are just like, Cary Grant. I'm like, okay, cool. I guess
Yeah.
there's some stuff there.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, Hyder Ackerman at Tom Ford. I mean, I lived for that shit. I mean, I loved that show. Eddie Slimane. I don't really want any of that. I never really wanted any of that clothing at Celine or, I mean, at Saint Laurent. Cool. Like it's fun to look at in the shows and it's fun to, see those full looks. But
You're not going to be a skinny boy in a teddy coat with.
I mean,
Yeah, I get it.
somebody else can do that.
Well, good thing a lot of LA already has, so you're okay.
That's right. It's basically fun to look at all of it and know that it exists, and you know what I mean. But
Uh-huh.
I mean, not to be, I don't know, like vintage crap. Vintage crap is, I don't know. You find a good shirt and it's a miracle, and on you go. You know
Well,
what
it's
I'm
true
like?
because it definitely like stops the conversation when someone's coming up to you and they're like, "Oh man, I really like that shirt. Where's it from? Vintage."
Yeah,
Over. They're over. There's nothing else you can ask. It's like, well, oh, it's vintage. Well, Well, you can't ask where they got it because it doesn't matter. It's vintage, you know. And so yeah, it's like, do you just want my eBay save search? Is this what you're looking for, friend? You know,
And it's the perfect answer if you don't want to tell somebody, if you don't want you don't want someone to know how much money you've spent on I'm wearing a
true.
pair of like Margiela pants, but you'll never know. They're vintage.
It's true. It's true. I do that. I mean, shit. eBay was my I was having like a serious affair, and every
Yeah.
night before bed, I'd fire up my little phone and I'd be like, "What's happening on eBay? What's going on in my save searches?" And then
Yep.
I'm under the influence of God knows whatever edible I had, and I'm just getting random weird Russell Athletic sweatshirts with schools on them that first off I didn't know were not really the school I wanted to wear. I
Yeah.
didn't like the color, and another person was like, "Yeah, you probably don't want to wear that school." And I'm like, "Wait, what does it mean?"
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I'm wearing like racist clothes, and I'm like, "God, I thought it was a deal because I was getting from Russell Athletic just because I bought it from this place in Kentucky." These are my
Oh.
actual problems, Lauren.
I love them. I love these problems. I mean, I'm kind of, I will always be a sucker for the very recent past vintage where it's like, like wearing the like vêtements, may the bridges I burn light the
Light the
way.
way.
Like okay, with the shoulder pads, like wearing that now
It's
again.
true.
Like I think that's cool. Obviously, Vetements, like that brand has been like a piece of shit for the past few years. But like I love that recent past vintage.
Yeah, I
Or
think that's super smart, especially because all the like crazy hype beasts that got it are getting rid of all of it. They're selling
oh
it for pennies on the dollar.
yeah,
I'm like, dude,
yes.
do I start wearing like Descartes era Balmain? Like,
Oh,
is this the time?
absolutely, you do. No, yes,
Yeah.
you do. Exactly. I want like one of those Balmain, like covered in safety pins, like the American flag, leather
Yeah.
jacket. You know what I mean? Like yeah, I like that. I like
There we
that.
go. The tour wardrobe is slowly being built as we speak. Someone's
Exactly.
like, "Where'd you get it?" It's vintage, dude. It's
Exactly. That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
Oh, speaking of, so you scored this film recently, which
Yeah, a couple songs on Swift Horses, it's called.
what is it like scoring or writing songs for
Yeah.
versus that? Or did you even kind of like think about the film or anything when you did it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like some of these stories are so fucking like it just sounds like you've like lost your mind and it's like you're living in this little story that you've written for yourself. But it's like, I played a show last year. It was like the album release show at the Troubadour. And then the producer for the film came because he found the music on Instagram. And then,
You
and
got it on
then
Instagram.
Yes, like someone he followed was posting
Okay.
about it, and then the producer
Okay.
of the movie came to the damn show, and the producer of the movie produced "Call Me by Your Name," and he
Yeah,
produced
yeah, yeah.
"Nomadland," and Peter Spears is his name, this amazing man. And then he came to the show, and then 2 days later, he sent me a really rough edit of the movie, and he was like, "Watch it, let me know if you're interested in potentially writing a song for it, and then we'll introduce you to the director." And then so I watched this rough cut of the movie. I bought the novel that the movie was based on, and then had a call with Dan Minahan, the director, and then off we went. And
That is not normal these days. Usually, I'll say this for listeners. Usually,
yeah,
it's like, do you have any B-sides
yeah.
or things you haven't released yet that might
Oh,
fit this notion of like angst?
okay, well, there certainly was that conversation. I was like, listen, there are a couple songs that didn't make it on the album, whatever. And Peter was like, oh, no, 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 no. I think Dan really wants something
Original.
new and
Wow.
original for the movie. And so that turned out to be the case. And then, I mean, I'm not kidding. I was sitting at the piano with my fucking laptop open to the rough edit, and I was, playing, seeing how things might feel against the picture, and then wrote it with my collaborator Sean O'Brien, who produced my album, and we've done a lot of writing together. Yeah, and then we did a cover of this song called Mr. Blue from the 50s
Yeah.
with Amber Kaufman. It's all a cappella, and it's me, and then it's once again Jayla doing backing vocals, and then Amber Kaufman, who's a dear friend and amazing musician. She was in Dirty Projectors for years and years. But yeah, I mean, it was again. I mean, it was challenging. I mean, it really was pretty fucking challenging writing a song that you don't want to retell the whole story of the movie. You don't want it to be too heavy-handed, but you want it to, hit all of these emotional beats. Yeah, it was pretty fucking. It was pretty difficult. But
I mean, it's great. It reminded me a little bit. Do you remember the Lost Highway soundtrack and what a big deal
oh my
that was?
God, oh hell yeah, oh
I was like,
hell yeah.
these are good. Like, this is not, I don't know. I feel like soundtrack music in the aughts or 2000s really kind of felt like an afterthought, but
Yeah.
this is not the case. This is excellent. I was like, oh man, I'm feeling some Lynch. It just felt good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Yeah. So it was, we're doing a music video for it, and
You already shoot it?
you'll see. You'll see what the hell it is. I mean,
Okay. I'm into it.
yeah.
So talk to me about where you are on physical media real quick, because I'm slowly rebuilding my record collection that I had to give away when I lived in New York. Now I have space and I'm rebuilding my vinyl collection here.
Oh.
So what's your music setup these days? Are you just zero?
Zero.
Hey man, I appreciate the truth.
Zero. I owned a record player and sold it to a friend. No, I've never. I owned a record player and vinyl in high school,
Okay.
and was like getting down with my like Incubus shit and like Linkin Park
Oh, yeah.
and like scratching, a
Yeah.
little bit. But no, I've never been a vinyl person.
We got to fix that because you can't be writing music the way you're doing it and not have some good wax. Just
I know. I mean, but here's the thing. Like when I was just in New York, I was having dinner with my friend Eleanor, and she had just gone to this talk with R. Crumb at like the 95, the Y.
uh-huh.
And he was saying that, he does not listen to music when he draws. When he listens to music, he listens to it and really focuses just on the music. And then he'll go and draw. And I kind of have that relationship to music as well. It's like, I'll play background music if I have people over, or, you know what I mean? Like trying to like get fucking freaky or something, like you've got some like sexy music going on. But for the most part, like I like to listen to music. I mean, this is in no way at odds with owning a goddamn record player. I mean, I think this is what most people do. They've got the beautiful sound system,
It's
the
true.
record player, they light a candle, and then they just listen to
Yeah.
that. I mean, that sounds so civilized and nice. But I'm like intimidated by like, oh God, now I need the fucking like great sound system and the record player, and then
It's
the
a lot of money.
shells for the vinyl.
You're
And
just going to throw thousands of dollars into the air and just light it on fire.
and then you've got all these vinyl, and they're so heavy. It's so heavy.
It's very heavy. It's absurd. I hate it, but I'm really trying to bring everyone down into my sorrow.
So you're a big vinyl head.
No,
Oh, you're not.
well, I used to have about like 20 milk crates worth. I worked at Beggars for a long time. And
Okay.
so I would
well,
just
that's
get,
yeah.
yeah, I had tons of stuff there.
Dear
And then I was
God.
buying and collecting. And now I don't know how many have I got. This whole wall over here has got, I don't know, maybe 100 records.
Okay, that's reasonable.
Yeah, but it's not, I went to a listening party the other day.
Yeah,
at
you
a
did.
friend's house.
Yeah, you did.
And he's got a really nice, and he's got a really nice setup. And we sat there, and one of the other people that showed up, this guy was a real ass clown. And
Yeah.
he's like, he just starts talking the whole time, and plus someone had the idea to put on Zappa. They're like, we're going to really analyze Zappa. You don't
Oh,
know Zappa.
oh God.
He puts it on. We're all sitting there like idiots. And homie the clown over there just starts riffing, and he starts talking about the stock market.
The tariffs.
Yeah, he was.
He's talking about the tariffs.
He was like talking about the tariffs. And I'm like,
Yeah, he was.
shut
Yeah.
the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
It's the listening party.
Well, listen. Okay, you probably in sheep's clothing. Remember that? What
Yeah.
do you know that spot? So, like they had their place downtown in LA. Beautiful room, and yes, the sound system was incredible. But like, let other people deal with that. I have enough problems.
It's true.
I
It's
am
true.
not. I don't want to fucking no. It's like that ship has sailed, and thank God.
I think you're right because you're really helping peel this pretentiousness off of me. This is very helpful.
Fuck it. I'm like, I'm gonna listen to, I mean, and people are like, don't listen to it on Spotify, listen to it on Tidal, the sound quality, and and
I do it more now to just make sure y'all are getting paid, and then I'll go to Bandcamp and I buy the wax or I'll buy whatever. I got double purchase.
yeah, God bless. God bless. It's hell. It's it's all hell.
Yeah. I mean, at least you're making good music while we're doing it.
Listen,
I mean, what else am I gonna do?
what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Lauren, I want to be conscious of your time, and I want to thank you so much for everything. Before we wrap, is there anything you want to add or mention or discuss that we did not chat through?
Oh my God.
If you were like, dude, no, I wanted to tell you I'm making this hoodie.
Like,
with Eckhaus Latta.
does Supreme make great clothing? I'm so confused.
Oh wow, that you are you trying to add 4 hours to our podcast? Because the truth is yes and no.
Okay, what are they like? What is everyone waiting in line for? What are they gonna get when they go in there?
Okay.
Socks?
Here's the thing: people are gonna get pissed off at me, but I'm gonna tell you what everyone's obsessed over right now.
Please.
There's a Japanese brand called Apresse. People are
Okay.
saying Apresse, Apresse. It's
How do you spell it? APRESS?
period
Yeah.
PRESSE.
Okay.
And the
Where do you
whole
buy that?
Japan. There's a couple.
Mhm.
There's a couple places you can buy it in the States, but like any Japanese brand, if you're gonna buy it in the States, most Japanese brands don't really believe in what a traditional American brand believes in wholesale, in the sense that the retail markup is 2.5 times the wholesale price. Most
Okay.
Japanese brands, generally, it's only 30% higher is the retail, because most of them don't have this like idea of like globalization, world domination. You know, they want to make their
Yeah.
clothes because it's important and they're making art and they're putting it out in the world. So
God bless.
Apresse is this brand that everyone's obsessed with solely because they more or less make the best old clothing that's new.
Okay.
So Kaz, who's the main guy of Apresse, he his thing was like, look, I wear a lot of vintage stuff and I wear a lot of new stuff, but the vintage things they didn't feel the right way. I mean, I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I basically am making, so they made the 1970s style sort of Russell Athletics / Champions sort of sweatshirts and hoodies. No
Yeah.
logos. They don't,
Okay.
if anything, they would prefer that you cut the tag off of the clothes. Dead serious. That is
I believe
that
it.
is a quote.
I'm with you.
They don't really care about that. And the hoodies are like,
What's the price point?
they're like, here's the thing, they're actually affordable for high-end hype stuff in the sense that they're like 300-ish if you're buying it in Japan. But because there's not really much of a margin, the people that are selling it in the States, like Union has a couple pieces, but it's like $500 or $600. And the problem is there's a lot of other clowns like me probably that are wearing Apresse, and people are like, oh shit, well, if Jeremy Kirkland's wearing it, this guy's a fucking bald idiot. And all of a sudden his camera went out of focus, And so it's just that is the thing I would say that everyone's like more or less obsessed with lately. And they
what is this? Okay, this genre of like, it's so like a straight man, like you, Blackbird Spy Plane, these like
Jonah?
well-dressed Jonah. I love that guy.
Jonah's great.
Like what is this world of like? It's like what is how is it even described? Like how do you guys call, like what do you call?
Someone's gonna like try to like rip me a new one for saying this, but it is a level of pretentiousness that is so high that you're trying to pretend that you're shunning all of it. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I don't care about clothes, man. I just care about like natural fibers. What the fuck? Like, no. At the end of the day, we're all buying things that we want to like speak for us, because in most cases, like me, I don't have the confidence to just be happy and content with who I am. I want to express myself in some form of clothing that says that like I equal this level of knowledge.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there.
I mean, I am admitting it fully here.
But there's like hype, but like hype beast or like fuck boys or whatever the hell, where it's like Supreme and whatever the hell brands, you know what I mean? And like like a crossbody, whatever, or I don't know, like the Chrome Hearts pants with the crosses all over it, and you know what I mean?
Chrome's
like
a good example.
Shit.
Chrome swings in between the dudes who are like wearing it ironically, and then the other dudes who are wearing it because like they feel like it's on the next list of copying in their empire. And so like the hype beast sort of clothes now, where you like look at them and you're like, you're just kind of swagless, you just have money. Those are dudes wearing like Louis Vuitton, Aimé Leon Dore. They're wearing like they're waiting in line for stuff. I mean, nobody waits in line if you're really cool, right? I don't fucking wait in line. I buy off a line sheet, man.
Amiri, are they wearing Amiri?
Amiri is Amiri is even like further removed, but that's like like you went to the Las Vegas hotel and the dude that was over betting and drunk was wearing Amiri.
What kind of shoes are these guys wearing?
Generally, they wear like a high top, that is like super rare, or if they're like super swagless. I sound awful saying this.
Let it rip. No, people. This is what people want to
They're
hear.
probably wearing like Yeezys or something.
Still,
Yeah, exactly. Well, because it doesn't matter to them.
but I don't even mean because of like him being a fucking lunatic Nazi or whatever. But just like, does Yeezy even make shoes anymore?
Yeah, he makes little slip-ons, little slippies.
Oh God, those rubber things.
Yeah. So there's that.
Oh,
They'll wear stuff like that, or but it's usually things that like are much louder than who they are. Like,
yeah.
in a weird way, I want the same thing, but I want my clothes to be super, super quiet and only like one of the 100 people to clock what I'm wearing and be like, yo, Jaron Kirkland's wearing Yoko Sakamoto pants. I'm like, fuck yeah, I am. Like, what's up, dude? These are natural fibers. This is it, man. But the thing is, like, I need
a New York magazine. I mean, deep fucking journalistic, expose on the different fucking sets of like.
We do need a real cross section of this.
Because it's fascinating. It's funny.
Because
it is. Yeah. It's this like hetero fashion guy thing. These different.
It's very much white cis dude style. Yeah.
These different schools.
Yeah. It is.
What kind of shoe? What shoes are you wearing? Like cool sneakers, like nerdy sneakers that are like very rare.
Well, kind of. So I do like what is it? Aurora moccasins.
Wait, I don't.
Aurora moccasins. Yeah, so those are like, they're handmade. They're like little leather. They look like Birkenstock Bostons. So I like those. But I also.
Oh yeah, I've seen these.
I really only like shoes that were like designed pre 1940. In the sense, I mean, it's not like that is the rule, but it's just I realize that I like very low vamp, casual little canvas shoes that don't really matter.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, that like I don't really have anything expensive. I just have things that are like hard to find because I actually have the money to have things that are expensive. I have 2 kids.
Yeah, but like Jonah did those sneakers.
Yeah,
with somebody. You know what I mean? But it's like that, I mean, he looks so elegant and he's so well dressed and and then like with those like kind of like sort of nerdy, hideous, but beautiful sneakers, that whole thing.
It's like cool guy hiking stuff, like all the Gorp trends, like
but then you have somebody like Sam Hine, who's like a high fashion bitch.
Yeah, Sam Hine is very high fashion and his leans more 1970s.
And looks incredible.
Yeah, I mean,
looks beautiful.
He's perfect for it. Jonah's style, I think, is great. But yeah, he wears like Dana Lee Brown. He wears Evan Kenori. Everyone loves Evan Kenori because he's like basically American Visvin.
I don't know these people at all.
But that's
I've never heard these names in my life.
That's good because you're a fucking artist making art, and I'm a guy who just wants to dress like an artist who makes art.
Listen, it takes 2 to make the world go round.
So that's the difference between you and me, and that's okay. I'm
the only difference.
I'm being okay with where I fit in the world. I play Jim Croce songs on the guitar for my kids.
Hell yeah!
And I love singing and playing music, and I maybe will record music again someday. But until then, I'm just
You should. No fear, Jeremy. No fear.
I know. We'll see where we get. Loren, this was amazing.
This was so much fun. Such a pleasure, really. Thank you for inviting me on.
Oh yeah, my pleasure. All right, I'll see you soon. All right, take care.
See ya. Bye.
You've been listening to Blammo. Our show is produced by Blammo Media. We're edited by Amar Lowell, and our theme music, as always, by the mysterious Breakmaster Cylinder. If you like what you heard, you know the drill. Share the pod with a friend. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars or thumbs up on whatever other thing you're listening to us on, whether it's Dingledorp or Bing Bong, whatever it's called. But you can also follow us on Instagram for all the hot content. If you want to talk to us and give us your hot take, we'd love to hear from you. You can send us an email at info@blamopod.com. Last but not least, super ultra important, if I had a air horn, I would press it right now. You got to come and join us over on Patreon, because the fun never stops over there. Look, the live show, the free show, whatever you want to call this, we take breaks here and there, but Patreon, it never stops. And we also got exclusive shows like Die Workwear, hosted by Derek Guy and Peter Zotolo, and the Triple J Show, hosted by yours truly with John Moy and Gene DeLeon. There's just a ton of stuff over there. So check it out at patreon.com/Blammo. If not, no worries. We got hundreds and hundreds of free episodes in the feed and more to come. So we will see you all soon.